Hey, how's it going? Yesterday we were talking about sorting out your own life. I'm sorting out my own life. And my go-to guy for all this stuff is Jordan Peterson. And I came across this video where uh, it's kind of a montage of several of his things that he said. It's under 10 minutes long, but I've witnessed all the stuff that he said. And I like this right here. I found this little image. And in order to get to success, it's all this stuff. You've got to risk. People are going to tell you that you can't. There's going to be crises. You're going to want to give up. There's problems, fear, and failure. And you got to overcome all of these hurdles. It's just absolutely. I just 100% completely concur and agree with all that trash there. And I would say that's where you're going to be. I have definitely failed a billion more times than I have succeeded. The weight loss wasn't easy. It took forever, but I kept going. It wasn't about success. It was about persistence. It wasn't about getting a participation trophy. Screw that trash. It was about picking yourself up, dusting yourself off, and continue to go. So I try to do 2 videos a day, but here lately I've only been doing one, and it might be that way for a little while because I'm really enjoying this part right now, and my other sets of videos don't really mean too much if I don't get this down pretty well. And there's only so much that I need to do. There's only a little bit of this that I need to do to kind of get me going. I just need to kind of have that focus and direction. And it's hard to do if my health and my diet are bad, my sleep is bad, and those are pretty easy, and that's why I started with those first. And so now here we are. So I do have 2 channels on YouTube, Practical Focused Improvement, and then Freedom of Expression. If you're anywhere else, it's all together in one. I gave it a little twist to it, calling it Creating a Noble House, because this isn't just something that I want for me, it's what I would like for my kids, and hell, why not for everyone? That'd be great. And so if you too, if you're getting something out of this, I would appreciate, give it a thumbs up. It takes 2 seconds. And subscribe and become a member. That helps me out a lot. It's just those 2 things. It's real simple. And if you change your mind, well, you can change all that later. So let's go ahead and get into this. This is, and I'll have this link in the description below for anyone who wants to watch it again, maybe without my commentary and all the pauses or whatever. It's titled Jordan Peterson Leaves the Audience Speechless, which is a lie. It's several of his speeches, and they're not quiet in any of them. One of the best motivational speeches ever. It's like, well, that's a lie too, because I was going to say Motivational Hub says that's a lot. And they probably do, but I see over here there's like Motivation Madness. But I see this, one of the best motivational speeches ever. It's like, shut up. It's clickbait is what it is. But the channel, as I said, is called Motivational Hub. And let me get out my paper. All right. So yesterday, that doesn't go there. Sorting out my life. To make your calendar your best friend, focus on 3 to 5 things with your life and really zero them in. Outsource what you can if you've got the money to do that. Scheduling your time. That's your life. What you do with your time is literally your life. So what do you really need and want to do, and not what someone else wants? I've had that as a big problem in my life, and I see it with others, and I'm done with that. So I focused on 3 things here, 4 things kind of. I'm going to rewrite my goals. I have them, but I haven't kind of messed with them in a while, and they're due for an update. I need to continue to improve myself. An objective of mine is being able to plan my days out obsessively to really get it a lot better than what I'm doing. And I've gotten better, but and there's more. There's definitely room for more. And to really focus out on planning out with 3 years, 1 year, 6 months, 3 months, a week, and for the day, and even by the hour. The hour is a hard one, but you know, if you're doing something new, that's hard to do. That's hard to plan out an hour, because it's like, I have no idea how long this is going to take. This is new. Motivational Game. He talked about how he really enjoys trying to figure out how he can do the most in the least amount of time, and that with his students, he would ask them, how can you do it 10 times faster? Which I'm sure that probably really didn't ever happen, but you know, did they get like 6 times faster? Maybe on occasion. 4 times faster? Yeah, I bet so. So, you know, it's just about, it's not about actually reaching the 10 times faster. It's about what can you do to make this even better, so to do it faster. And one of the ways to do that is to force the task to fit the time. So just say, I don't give a damn. Instead of going to the library, you know, especially if you're young, and saying 4 hours of study time, say, I've got an hour. That's it. And whatever I can fit in there. So, all right. That's kind of the gist of it. And then it won't be Friday, so I'll do it on Saturday. I'll do the final video to kind of, I'll mull this all over and try to fit this into my schedule in my life, and kind of what that looks like, you know, kind of a summary of everything that's kind of gone on for the week. All right, so
these people that you're comparing yourself to, you don't read.
Whoops.
You know very well. What that means is that you see their shiny outside, but you don't see the reality of their life.
Man, yep. Now, whenever I click on this stupid homepage stuff, you see so much of this stuff. What do we have here? It's kind of all this crap with celebrities. Here's another one. Madison LaCroix steams up Miami in her swimsuit. It's like every single day I get 3 of these things or more about some damn girl I've never heard of and her damn swimsuit or her toned figure. I don't give a damn. Oh, here's another one. Kat Deely stuns whoever the hell she is. Here's January Jones. That might be a leftover from yesterday. What? Video of little girl dual wielding with 2 guns viewed over 2 million times. Man wearing Star of David says he was denied check-in at German hotel. That sounds clickbait. Okay, here's one. The Resident star Emily Van Camp opens up about her sudden and shocking exit. Don't care. Don't care. I tell you what, I hate it that people are manipulated in this. Where's another one? There's going to be another one. This Grease 2 star admits he resented Michelle Pfeiffer's rise to fame. Don't care. That has absolutely no impact in my life at all, other than it being an utter waste of time. The Waldens. Oh, the Waldens. Just so, can't believe they're going to redo that. It's like, think of something new. Kristen Stewart paired a Lacey Buster with a, don't care. And that's exactly what he's talking about. Is that you see these people in their one little aspect, tiny, minuscule part of their life that a lot of them just got lucky. They just got lucky. And some of it was perseverance. They had to go through a lot of trash to get where they're there. And in a way, that's good. But a lot of it, too, is just luck. Like a lot of these celebrities, it was just luck. They just happened to be there at the right time with this stuff. There are some that are pretty good that it's like, no, they got something. But others, it's kind of like, what? Kristen Stewart, isn't she the one that did that, what was that werewolf vampire movie? Twilight, right? Wasn't that it? It's like she didn't do anything outstanding in that. And you know why? Because I don't even have to watch that trash. Because if she was so damn good, where's the rest of her awards? Wasn't her. She just had a nice face. She kind of looked the part. But it was the story that everybody liked. Or the girls liked. So. But yeah, and I just, as I get older, it's like the more I just loathe this stuff. You know, it would be different if it was somebody who's actually achieving things instead of stupid narcissistic things like, look at their body. Oh, don't they look great in this? And their stupid thoughts and feelings in this. It's like, no. It's like, what have you done? What have you accomplished? Well, what have you contributed? Well, what are you doing that's worth looking up to by others? You know, so like Jordan Peterson, he's done a lot of work. He's written these books. He's been a professor. He's a clinical psychologist. He's put a lot of effort into that. And so looking up to him whenever it comes to psychology, now really not much else, but whenever it comes to psychology, it's like, yes. So yeah, I'm so fed up with celebrity life. And it's kind of that way with politicians too. I see them more as trying to wannabe, not even B-rated, but C-rated celebrities. It's like, get the hell out of here. You know, and that's part of the problem. We have absolute garbage politicians because we treat them more like celebrities. It's like Orange Man Bad. What the hell does that have to do with anything? Orange Man Bad? Man, grow up, child.
There's always people out there who are doing far better than you on pretty much anything you want to imagine. And if all you do...
Man, yes. There are always people doing better than you. Pauses. Yep, there's someone who's richer, smarter, whatever, and he gives a list here. I'm gonna
imagine. And if all you're doing is seeing yourself in their reflected light, let's say, then it's going to be pretty damn dismal. But it's not a good comparison because, well, first of all, there's danger in just comparing yourself to others, period, because they're not you, and God will...
Yeah. Comparing yourself to others. Let me pause. And I know this firsthand about comparing yourself to others because there are people who have mistaken me for others. And it's just because I'm just kind of a generic, typical white guy. And there's been some people from afar who've mistaken me for someone else. I've had it happen maybe a dozen or so times throughout my life. No big deal. It's changed. Whenever I was younger, a lot of people said that I had a strong resemblance to Jim Carrey. Whenever I got older, it was more to, what's that guy's name? Let me Google him. To Nicolas Cage. Because his hairline recedes, so does mine. I had the same kind of demeanor as him for a while because I was really into Nicolas Cage movies for a while. He actually did something. He did some implants or something, and his hair magically got thicker all of a sudden, and I noticed. So, and so did other people. I mean, they wrote about it, so of course they did.
God only knows.
But also, not just with celebrities, but it's like, oh, you look a lot like this friend that I know, and it's like, are you related? Got that one quite a few times. Like, nope, never heard of him.
Struggles they had to undertake.
And you know what? I'm not like them. I'm not like them. And somewhere in this video, he talks about things that make you different than others. And I'm gonna list that.
Get to where they were, or what burdens they're currently carrying that you're not aware of. But you can certainly contrast yourself with yourself not aware of. To get to where they were, or what bills they had to undertake. Well, first of all, there's danger in just comparing yourself to others, period, because they're not you, and God only knows what struggles they had to undertake to get to.
Okay. And so I'm gonna start the list here. 1. I'm just gonna say others for all of it. Others have different struggles. I mean, all this is kind of obvious, but when do you really kind of get taught this? It's like, no, but we're all smart enough that we understand exactly what he's talking about. Have different struggles they undertake.
To where they were, or what burdens they're currently carrying that you're not aware of.
2. Others have different current burdens than you. Yeah, that you're not aware of. Because people do want to hide that stuff. And you should hide that. Too many people want to turn it into a weapon.
But you can certainly contrast yourself with yourself. And that's a lot better. It is.
Okay. Alright, so comparing yourself to others, I didn't put dangerous, but is just wrong. Because they are not you. Others have different struggles they undertake. Others have different current burdens than you that you're not aware of. And then here I put, you can only contrast yourself with you because you are unique. Thus, that makes you the only one qualified to compare yourself against. You know, you're just comparing apples to oranges if you're not doing that. It's like they're both fruit, but they're different on a billion different levels. With the way they taste, their structure, their molecular arrangement, all of this stuff. And this is the same thing with everybody. My temperament, my allergies, my strengths, my weaknesses, all of it. Because I'm strong and weak in a lot of things, because there's a lot of things out there. Duh.
Is the only way. Well, it's also the only way of really measuring anything approximating proper improvement. You can actually tell when you're a little better than you were yesterday.
Right.
Yeah. All right, so let's back that up just a little bit there.
It is the only way. Well, it's also the only way of really measuring anything approximating proper improvement. You can actually tell when you're a little better than you were yesterday.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. If you want to improve yourself, then you can only gauge you versus yourself. You can't say, oh, I'm a failure because I don't have the six-pack abs. It's like, well, that fool didn't start off that way either. He had to work to get it. Had to clean up the diet, had to get a gym membership or weights or whatever and work for it. So you can't compare yourself to someone else. That person got rich because of their job that they had to work for, or they just were really good at managing their money, or whatever the hell it is that they had to do. And to compare yourself to someone else is just a flat out lie. And you could be doing better than what you were doing, but if you're comparing yourself to someone else, it's like, yeah, you're a failure. Oh, I'm working out, but I don't have the abs like that person does. It's like, because you're not them. You're completely different. And you can do that to every little aspect of your life. So if you really want to be serious about improving your life in any way, in one thing or several things, then you have to tell everyone else to F off. Get the hell out of my face. I'm doing this for me, not for you. I'm not doing this for you to use it as a weapon against me or to keep me down or to make yourself feel better because I'm doing something with myself and you're not. Get that trash away from me. So I'm going to do this. Take a hike.
And you can actually do that. That's another thing that's so interesting about it, is that you can actually make yourself a little better in some way, pretty much. Well, I don't know if it's at every moment, but you can certainly do it every day. Be careful who you...
And you can do it. Make yourself a little better every day. And there's kind of a compounding effect to that in a little bit. So I think he talks about this in this, if I remember right.
Share good news with, because you want to share good news with people who are going to be genuinely happy for you. And
yep. All right, so he's talking about be careful who you share good news with. And bad news. I don't think he said that part yet. Well,
be careful who you share bad news with, because that's equally tricky. You want someone who will listen to you when you're having trouble and allow you your grief. Beauty calls people to their...
Then he gets off into beauty. So be careful who you share your good news and your bad news with. And it's because there are people out there, lots of them, that they will use both your good news and a bad news as a weapon against you. To throw, oh, well, aren't you lucky and privileged? Oh, I wish I had it so nice. It's like, so here's one, is that I'll tell people that I'm a landlord and I have a few properties. And they'll say some kind of stupid, ridiculous nonsense. Well, oh, must be nice. It's like, you worthless piece of trash. My folks divorced and my mom died, and so I got life insurance money so I could buy it. How the hell's that fortunate? You know what? If you know of a ritual where we can kill your mom and bring my mom back to life and you want my properties, I'll take that any day of the week. What a dumbass. So yeah, you be careful who you share good news with, because there are plenty of just piles of garbage out there who would rather just shit all over your parade instead of... They're pessimistic instead of optimistic. They see the glass as half empty instead of half full. And you know, my best advice with all of this is that whenever you really have good news and bad news, is that just shut up. Just save yourself the heartache and the trouble and just don't say any of it. Find some really good people in your life who just will... Whenever you share good news, that they are happy for you. And they don't try to do something like one-up it. You know, it's like, no, it's whoever had this good thing happen, this is their moment. Shut up. Don't make it about them. You know, don't make it about this other person or yourself. Leave it on that person. You know, so if you're having a good day, if something good has happened to you, and you share it with someone, and they try to one-up it, it's like, screw that person. Why can't they just put their ego in check and be happy for you? Yeah, and you know what? This is part of what it really is to be an independent person, is that I don't need anybody's validation for one damn thing. And you know what? Neither do you. And so if you find yourself in your life where you're just telling these people all of these things in your life, it's because you're not a strong person. You're not an independent person. You're getting your validation off of other words instead of what it is that you're actually doing. And maybe that's because you haven't figured yourself out. Because the more that I do this, the more I become strong. And I've seen this in my life. Because I tell people no. I cut toxic people out of my life. And I'm much happier for it. Because I don't need that trash. I was much worse off before. So hell yeah. Let's go, baby.
Higher being, I would say, and to make friends with beauty is to introduce yourself very carefully to one of the mysteries of life that make it worth living. There's never...
Yeah, beauty to life is one of the things that can make life worth living. And that I don't like this little fluff stuff in the back, but this is one time it was appropriate. You know, just seeing the beauties of nature. Gonna add that, I guess, yeah. And I would say that's probably more of a metaphor because obviously everybody's gonna find different things beautiful. And there's a lot of things too that you can find beautiful. You can find the sunset and the sunrise beautiful, all these things with nature, the birth of a child, the love of family, love of food. You know, there's or the beauty of a well-prepared meal. You know, and then you top that on with some good friends. It's like that would be a beautiful moment. You know, which is, I guess you're kind of talking like holidays. You know, if the holidays are done correctly, where it's not all this materialistic garbage, and you have good values and goals with your friends and family, then those are the good stories. Those are the good memories. I have some of those. Do you?
There's never been a better time for the majority of people to be alive. And the future, although we're vulnerable and terrible things can always happen to us, it's hard to make a case that the future doesn't look comparatively positive.
Yeah, so many. I think kids today just have a really bad time with it. And I hear constantly it's the internet, social media devices. I don't touch any of that stuff. I really just, I don't care. I don't care what other people think. I don't care about likes and thumbs up and all that stuff. I do with my work because I need the work to go somewhere, but I don't care for my own personal recognition. I don't give a damn. You know what? So I don't have like videos and pictures of me. Look at me and look what I did. You know, I don't understand that Facebook crap, you know, or it's like, look at what I did, you know, isn't this great? And it's like, I don't give a damn. Why are you telling me this worthless whatever?
We're becoming extremely technologically sophisticated, and the world is changing at an incredibly rapid.
Yeah, this is why with my values, that number one is change. Because everything just changes like insanely quickly. And yeah, it's like it would be absolutely stupid not to do it. And then just you yourself change. I mean, you know, you're not like you were when you were 10, you know, or 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you know, however far back you want to go. It's like you've been changing, right? What, you think it's going to stop? It's like, no.
Rate, and the only way we're going to be able to manage that in a positive way is if each of us, or as many of us as possible, are capable of making wise and careful and truthful decisions. And if we do that, then maybe things can continue to improve. You don't get people to stand up on as if each of technologically sophisticated, and the world is changing at an incredibly rapid rate, and the only way we're going to be able to manage that in a positive way is if each of us, or as
to manage change in a positive way. All right. So he talks about how to make not just change, because the goal is not change, the goal is positive change. Well, how can we help with that? And this
way is if each of us, or as many of us as possible, and the world is changing at an incredibly rapid rate, and the only way we're going to be able to manage that in a positive way is if each of us, or as many of us as possible, are capable of making wise and careful and truthful decisions.
Make positive change, wise, careful, truthful decisions. It's like, well, yeah, to me, that's just obvious. But I don't see the truth in it. Especially with politicians, with just one, it's like one damn lie after another one. I'm going to try to make a second video today because I just see all this stuff. Like, one of the things that's been going on is they've been chanting F Joe Biden. And it's like, are you people dumb? All these people are chanting F Joe Biden. It's like, you're idiots. I swear to God, it's like I live in a damn clown world. It's like, what about the rest of them? You know what? The Republicans, there with Trump there at the beginning, controlled everything. And they did nothing. They had the chance to do so much, and they did nothing. You know what? Trump did more than all of them. Here's an example. One of the things that Trump did was he signed off this thing. It was called the Right to Try Act. And what this was, that if you were being told by the doctors that you're going to die, then you can try any damn thing you want. You know what pissed me off? Was that my uncle died from cancer before this got passed into law. And him and his wife were on their way to Mexico to try something because it was like, why not? Everyone was saying he's going to die. But they had something going on in Mexico. It's like, why not? What's it going to hurt? Is it going to kill you? Oh, guess what? You're going to die anyways. He didn't make it, though. He was just feeling too bad. They turned around about halfway, and then he died a couple of days later. The Republicans didn't do that. Trump did. What the hell's wrong? There's too much lying with all of them. Screw Republicans and Democrats. It shouldn't be F Joe Biden. It should be F every one of these sellout politicians. All of them. Well, what do you think's going to happen? You get rid of Joe Biden and you're going to get Kamala Harris? Like she's any better? Have you seen her track record? It's nothing but corruption and scandals. Her entire political career. It's BS. And I tell you what, baby, I'm going to take care of every last one of it because I'm done with these lies.
And if we do that, then maybe things can continue to improve. You don't get people to stand up on their own 2 feet and to adopt responsibility if everything is given to them.
And they clap for all this, and it's like, yeah, it's true in a way, but it's more than just that, because people have to be educated and aware that this is even going on. Because as much as I want to say that I live in clown world and people are stupid, that's not the case. Because there's plenty of them that they're not dumb, and they do get it, but nobody's just really explained this, because you get busy. You know, you've got your family and your friends and your co-workers and your job and all this stuff, and it just eats up your time. So it's real hard. Yeah.
That's a real conundrum. You know, maybe you're in California, see someone speeding down the road in a convertible Porsche, and you think, oh man, what a lucky bastard. And the truth of the matter is that he's thinking about wrapping his expensive sports car around the next cement pillar that he comes close to. You know, you can't tell.
And he's talked about this, you know, is that you can't tell. You should not be judging people that are doing better than you, because you can't tell. You can't tell. Just you know, these people who kind of shine the most, you know, part of the reason why they shine so well is because they are careful about who they tell about all these good things and bad things. And you can see it with celebrities too, where even whenever they say something that's good, it just depends on the flavor of the day. It's like, well, maybe everyone's going to react positively to it, but maybe they won't either. You know, all that stuff is like a minefield. I'm glad I'm not a part of it, and I won't ever have anything to do with it. I do not care at all. You know, as I like to say, there's a cliff, here's me pushing. It's like, yeah, or along those lines. I don't quite say it exactly every time.
People have hard lives, and even people who are comparatively fortunate have hard lives. And the ideal...
Yeah, I want to put that too, is that, so with number 3, with comparing yourself to others is wrong, it's because they are not you. I'm going to put on number 3, all others. How did he put it? Have comparatively
fortunate have hard lives, and
all others, all others, no matter who, have hard lives. And I know what he's talking about, that because everybody's burdened with something. There's no one who has anything that's perfect, because nothing is perfect.
The ideal that you're observing that makes you jealous and resentful is in large part an illusion that's created by your own mind. You have to be careful of what you're jealous of, because you don't really know what it is. And then the other thing that's kind of useful is to...
Yeah, let's back up and listen to that a little bit again.
You know, you can't tell. And people have hard lives. And even people who are comparatively fortunate have hard lives. And the ideal...
And so this part right here, so starting with the ideal...
that you're observing that makes you jealous and resentful...
that it makes you jealous and resentful...
is in large part an illusion that's created by your own mind.
Is an illusion created by you. Holy crap, I love it. Stop comparing yourself to others. It is jealousy and resentfulness created by you. Who am I jealous and resentful towards? You can't tell. You know why? Because it's a figment of my imagination that I have created. And nobody can know unless if I just flat out tell them. But otherwise, it's a mystery to everyone else who I am jealous and resentful for. You know, and so if I see someone and it's like, oh man, I wish I had that sports car, that house, or whatever. It's like, nobody knows. You know why? Because it's a lie. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That is something that I have done a very good job of, is not comparing myself to others. To compare myself. So it's just like whenever, you know, I tell this a lot. I lost that 50 pounds because I didn't give two damns about what anybody else had to say. I didn't care if I was losing weight at the rate that they thought that I needed to. Because I heard that. It's like, well, shouldn't you have lost more weight by now? Or I think you're losing too much weight. It's, how about you shut the hell up and mind your own business, and I'll deal with me and you can deal with you. Do you have anyone who does that crap to you? It's like, oh, I thought you would have done more. Or you're doing it too fast. How about you try telling them to mind their own business? You know what? So instead of asking you directly, what can I do to help? Which probably won't, but you know what? That's a lot better than just making snide little comments at you. So I don't like that stuff where I see all this stuff with celebrities and politicians and their opinions. I don't care. I don't care at all. It's just a waste of my time. It's all that time that I wasted, especially whenever I was younger, kind of into that garbage a little bit. It's like, I wish I could take it all back. I would do absolutely nothing with it if I could redo it. I would do something else. But yeah, it's just all in your mind. So is your mind right?
You have to be careful of what you're jealous of because you don't really know what it is. And then the other thing that's kind of useful is to understand you're quite different from other people, and you shouldn't be comparing yourself to them because they're not like you. They don't have your family. They don't have your temperament. They don't have your...
Oh, whoops. Yep, so here's the list. I'm going to pause and write it down. Be back in 1 second. My hand hurts. I don't write anymore. I used to write all the time back in school. I mean, just like crazy. And it's like I can barely write a few sentences and it hurts because I don't write a damn thing. Maybe once an occasion, but mainly I type. That's what I do a lot of the time, but write, it's like, no. And it's like, this stupid thing hurts. It was the same thing. Little side story here. For just a little while, I got into playing video games. It was just like one day. It was just one day. I think it was with an old friend of mine, and he had his Nintendo, and we played it, and my hand started to cramp up. It was like that was like a flashback, because I remember whenever I was younger, whenever we first had that Nintendo, we were playing like mad, and that happened, and you just kind of had to work through it. You know, your hand kind of adjusted or got stronger or something, you know. But it was like, it hurt. It was like, oh my God, because it hurts bad. Oh, because with that Nintendo, it's just button bashing like mad, and it's only 2 buttons, and it's just and just as fast as you can. Because those old games, you got hit once, you were dead. It was game over. Start back at the beginning. It sucked. Those early ones. Later, you could punch in those little codes that took like 20 different individual characters or something like that, and even those, oh man. Anyways, side story. All right, so yeah, his list of additional things that makes us different.
They don't have your family. They don't have your temperament. They don't have your troubles. They don't have your abilities. The only person that...
Yeah, it's like, how many of you have my temperament? Probably not very many of you. None of you have my family. You know, but my temperament, you know, because what do you think my temperament is? It's like, I can get animated, but for the most part, I'm in control. It's been a long time since I've been in a fight, and it's just because I just don't care. I don't see the purpose of fighting, because, you know, even whenever you beat somebody down, it's like, well, so what? That doesn't change their mind with anything, so you've just wasted your time having that fight for nothing. So, yeah.
It has those is you. One of the rules, I think it's rule 4, is compare yourself. They don't have...
Want to back it up a little bit because of that last little bit there.
Your family. They don't have your temperament. They don't have your troubles. They don't have your abilities. The only person that has those is you.
That's right. Just you. Just me. Just them, whatever. Each single person is different. Period.
One of the rules, I think it's rule 4, is compare yourself to who you were yesterday and not to who someone else is today. And see, that's a game you can win. The possibility that you can make yourself slightly better on a continual basis is, I think that's something that's accessible to everyone. I think that's equivalent to leading a virtuous life.
Holy crap. What is this? I was just looking, we're not even halfway into this stupid video, and I can't stop pausing this. I gotta back up a little bit, take a couple notes, and I'll share. Alright, so I phrased it as that this is a game you can win, or in other words, an achievement you can do is to make yourself better than what you were yesterday instead of comparing to someone else. You're never going to win that with somebody else. For one, you really don't know how to compare that person because you don't know them, but you do know you. And so if you want to feel good about yourself, then look at yourself and do those things. So let's kind of listen to him kind of saying that again. before we move on.
To who you were yesterday and not to who someone else is today. And see, that's a game you can win. The possibility that you can make yourself slightly better on a continual basis is, I think that's something that's accessible to everyone.
I don't think that's accessible to everyone. I think that's accessible to most people because there are obviously people who are just, for whatever reason, there are people who are just born that way, who just, that's not in there. They're mentally incapable of doing it. But for the average person, for the rest of us, it's like, yes. What, you don't know how to make things better? You can't think of like 10 things off of the top of your head right now that you could do better? I can do it. I can think of 100 things. So
I think that's equivalent to leading a virtuous life.
He thinks that's equivalent to leading a virtuous life. Oh, let me mull that over a little bit. All right, so I don't know if I've shared this before in a previous video. Maybe. I think I might have, but I can't remember. But this is my my mission statement. My not my family values. Those are different. I do have those, but these are my personal values. I have a few. I kind of have the main ones that are in bold, that are numbered, and then I have two correspondings with each one that kind of helps strengthen that. So I'm just going to briefly go over these. And so I don't know if I have them in any kind of order. It's been a while since I've looked at this. Responsibility. Children are not responsible. That's something for mature adults. And citizenship. See, I don't know if I agree with that one anymore with citizenship. In a way, though, I mean, I guess I do, though. Because I'm doing that freedom of expression and that website that I want to do. So I guess that one still holds true. And there is responsibility in that with your community. So it's not like it's completely off ball. But I don't know, maybe there's a little bit of a change to be done in there. Charity. It requires you to willfully do it, and it's a sacrifice. It's not this nonsense that people do where, they give money. It's like, no, that's virtue signaling. Charity is something that you have to be conscious of that you're doing. You have to make a willing choice to involve yourself in somebody else's life. And that means sacrificing your own life at the same time. And I do think that's important, especially for like children. And if you were to do that with someone else, if you were to find someone who was homeless, it's like charity is not giving them money. That is absolutely not it. That's grandstanding. It's whoever does that is an asshole. The way that you kill somebody who's on drugs, give them money. Give them all the money that they can go out and just shoot up as much as they want to. They'll die from an overdose. You're not helping them whenever you give them money. You're an enabler. Those are two things that people don't always understand the difference of, and enablers are absolute garbage. Screw every last one of them. Temperance, self-control, and honor. It's where it's not to say that you don't get angry, that you're some kind of pacifist. It's to say that you get angry on your terms when you decide to. And you decide to because you've laid out when and where and why and how and all that kind of stuff. But it's not because some random person, for example, just triggers you just because, it's like, well, no, maybe you might respond a little bit, but then it's like, oh yeah, you're just nothing and I'm going to walk off. Humility, courage, and respect. Because to really humble yourself, that does take courage and respect. I have another one where I've defined all these. This is, you can't see it up at the top, but this is mission statements simplified on WordPad. Kindness, zest, and social intelligence. Oh man, I should have looked at the other one because I'm not sure, but it made complete sense at the time. Diligence. Uh, it's easier to be diligent whenever you have hope that you're aiming towards something good, and then that takes strength to keep going like that. Purity. If you really want to be pure, one of the things is that honesty, man. I tell you, man, honesty is such a reoccurring theme for me. And chastity, which is a lot of people just think of sex, but no, it's any kind of bad thing, such as overindulging in alcohol, for example, or any kind of substance abuse. Patience. It's easier to be patient whenever you know how to be grateful. What about prudence? Why is that one there? Oh man. Forgiveness. Forgiveness. Well, that's mercy, and also to be fair with it. Wisdom and knowledge. Well, to have a love for learning, which I do, and it also requires open-mindedness. I mean, how the hell are you going to learn everything if you're a closed-minded little dweeb, you know? And people who are closed-minded, it's like all these little leftist little punks out there who they don't even want to talk to you, and they just scream and yell. It's like, hey, you're not wise. You're a stupid little arrogant child who, as far as I'm concerned, needs a damn belt to the ass. Uh, Magnanimity. Magnanimity is that's not letting small little petty things getting to you, and it's kind of easy to kind of show that for some people, but it's like, are you really like that whenever it's just you? And that's integrity. And if you can really pull off magnanimity, where you don't let those all these stupid little things, because that's what the majority of this stuff is. It's just stupid little things. I think that's really something to be noble. That's the start of being noble right there. There's this song that I mentioned before, and part of its main lyrics is, "How quickly I forget that this is meaningless." And I love to say that to myself whenever I find myself getting heated over something. If I can remember that, I will often just stop and just kind of take a step back and like, is this really going to lead to anything productive? Or am I just letting my emotions get the better of me? And it's like 99% of the time, it's meaningless. My top 5 feelings that I have, and I this is from some site, and I think it was what Jordan Peterson recommended. I don't remember what it is anymore. It's been several years since I've done all this. And they said that my number 1 feeling is being optimistic and hopeful. And then 2 is calm, peaceful. Yeah, stable, content. Yep, that one. Strong, confident. You bet. Disciplined, motivated, excited. Yeah, I definitely see that. Kind, accepting, forgiving. Yeah, but I don't think people understand what kindness is. I think they get that confused with enabling and accepting. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, I accept a lot of things that I don't agree with, but that doesn't mean that I want to hang out or have anything to do with you. Those are not the same either. You know, and forgiving, they think that means that they can just keep on doing whatever. And it's like, well, you can, but I'm not going to have anything to do with that either. Just because I've forgiven you, that's something that I did for myself. I didn't do that for you, pal. I don't know what the hell your definition of forgiving is, but it's wrong. Because what you're talking about is abuse. Conscious, alert, and aware. I try to be conscious and aware of what's going on. I tell you what, that's hard. Because emotions and feelings just get in the way constantly. Noble, superior. It's like, I don't know about the superior part, but the noble of trying to put myself up higher, yes, I do try to do that. But compared to myself, you know, I don't care about others. It's not like that. No, I just don't give a damn at all. Courageous and brave. It's like, yep. I don't remember how many of these things that they had. I think like 50 of them, and these were like they only gave you like the top 10, and I didn't care for the last couple of them. I think I knocked some of them out. So, and then I think I did another one. I think this one is different. Bravery, valor. I don't know. It wasn't as much. And then yearly goals, which is kind of the same. It hasn't changed. But whenever you have trash people in your life, man, it's just it's hard to get past all that stuff. So because they want it all to be about them. It's like, no, fight me. Oh, so is that equivalent to leading a virtuous life? I'm going to agree with this, that to continuously make yourself better is equivalent to leading a virtuous life. And the biggest reason why is because this is subjective. That each subject, each person can define these in their own terms, whatever terms that you set out for yourself. So, however you want to make yourself better. Well, what is that? I mean, better in a positive way, you know, but that's what virtuous is. You know, we're not talking about vices, we're talking about virtues. And that if you're making yourself better, yeah, so what do you consider virtuous and what do you consider better? So it's a general statement. So, you know, you just have to be honest and say, well, is it really virtuous what I'm doing? And then are you really doing anything to be better with that? I'm going to go with it. It's good enough for me. Good enough for me.
There is something to be said for virtue and truth, you know, and that is one.
I love it. I love it. Something to be said for virtue and truth. Yep.
Another thing that I've noticed about people who've been phenomenally successful is that they really do everything they can.
Oh, man, this is a whole nother can of worms right here. I'm going to stop because I have problems whenever I get beyond an hour. I'm going to be lucky that the stupid thing shuts off because OBS, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And whenever I get around this hour mark, I'm pushing my luck. But this would actually be a good place to start up for tomorrow because, I mean, we didn't even make it halfway in. This thing is 8 minutes and 40 seconds long. And halfway would be 4 minutes and 20 seconds, and we're at 4:01. But I think the end of it is just kind of black right there. Yeah, it's just some music or something. But we're roughly halfway in, so we'll do the other half tomorrow. So I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you find this interesting and it's making the gears spin a little bit. You know, are you interested in doing better? Well, then here you go. Let's do it. And tomorrow, whenever we talk about this, he's going to talk about failure's the norm. And we live in clown world where everything's backward, like you're not supposed to fail. It's like, no, you're supposed to fail. You're going to fail. That's wrong. You're supposed to learn to get the hell up. So, yeah. So, if you found this interesting, if you learned something, if this has helped or whatever for you or maybe for someone else that you could talk to about this, whatever. I would appreciate a like and a thumbs up sincerely. That helps. I appreciate that. And we will see you tomorrow. Bye.